So you know you want to invite, you know you want to bring visitors to your chapter, and you're wondering how are you going to make that happen? How are you going to do that? And today we're going to talk about how to make that super easy to be done. Welcome to How to Invite Visitors to BNI. And in today's conversation, we're going to have four things that we cover. The first is why you want to invite people to BNI. The second is what not to do. I'm going to share some of the mistakes that I made when it came to inviting into BNI early on in my career. I want to talk about who you might want to invite to your chapter. And last, we're going to do inviting made easy. We're going to make things super easy for you when it comes to inviting. And my name is Tiffanie Kellog. I first got involved in BNI in March of 2005. So I've done a lot of inviting over the past decade and a half. And I think it's really important to invite, especially if you're a brand new member, because it gives you an opportunity to create some visibility and credibility within the chapter. And if you've been a veteran member, then it continues to build that visibility and credibility. I think it's a very powerful thing to do. Another reason I think it's important to invite is it's really the lifeblood of the chapter. And it's interesting during these times that we've had a little over a year in the COVID world, I've had a lot of people talk about like some chapters are like, oof, and some chapters are thriving. They've added a ton of members. And it's important to add members into your chapter because attrition happens. The average chapter loses 2 members a month, so we want to make sure that we're bringing in new members. And I always look at these new members, not just, hey, you're part of my chapter, you're also my long-term referral partner. And I think that's very powerful, and it brings us a lot of opportunity. Now, when it comes to what not to do, so when I first started inviting to BNI, I would share, here's all these things I love about BNI. Let me tell you about it. And here's what's all involved. And here's what it created for me. And I would spend like an hour talking to people on, here's how to be a part of BNI, which is great, except they would never actually show up for the meeting. It was like I verbally vomited all over them. Ugh. And nobody likes vomit. That's not a fun thing at all. And so what I found is it's much more important to kiss. Keep it short and simple. I just want to invite somebody to come to the chapter. And I think that's an important mindset that we want to have. Is it's not that we're looking to, hey, I want you to join BNI. When we're inviting, our goal is just, hey, do you want to come visit a meeting? That makes it simple, right? You want to come visit a meeting. And when people start asking me questions like, well, how often do you meet and how much does it cost and all of those details, I say those are really great questions that the visitor host will answer for you after the meeting. And so I think it takes a lot of pressure off of us in that don't have to get into all of the details. Just come and check out a meeting. So keep it simple. Let the visitor host, let the meeting sell itself. Now, the third thing I wanted to just share with you is who to invite. And it's interesting, sometimes people talk about being selfish, and I don't think it's selfish, but I do think it's important for you to have a little self-enlightened interest when it comes to inviting. And my favorite people to invite are my contact sphere relationships. Now, your contact sphere are those non-competing industries with the exact same target market. And I think it's really powerful to have those people in the chapter because they can pass you referrals all day, every day. And that's what we're looking for, is we want those referrals to be flowing in for us. Now, one of the podcasts that I love, BNI Podcast 506, does talk a little bit about those contact sphere relationships and the power. So if you want to check out that podcast, it gets a little bit more into those details. The second thing I want to think about when it comes to who to invite still deals with contact spheres and the other members in your chapter. So who in your chapter needs certain seats filled? I think that's a really important thing to do. And so you can help your chapter members, ask them in your one-to-ones, hey, what professions would you like to see here? You can become the hero by bringing that person into the chapter, creating the introduction, creating the referral relationship. Okay, so we've got why we need to invite, we've got what not to do, we've got who to invite. So the whole point of this video is inviting made easy. And I think that's going to be, it's so important to make it easy. too often it's like, okay, it's going to take me an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Now, hopefully, it should just be a minute or so conversation when you're inviting somebody to BNI. And I know sometimes people get in a mindset of, they're doing me a favor if they attend. And I want you to think about, no, I'm doing them a favor inviting them. I still remember Darren, who invited me 16 years ago to be a part of BNI, and I can't imagine what my life would be like had I not become part of the organization. Now, we used to use what we call the ABCs of inviting, and that's recently been revised, and it's called GRIP now. And GRIP is an acronym. Dr. Meisner loves using those acronyms. And so when it comes to GRIP, the goal is to ask and invite. So the G in GRIP stands for, are you looking to grow your business? Hopefully, of course, they should say yes. And then you ask, would referrals help you grow your business? And then when they say yes, it gives you an opportunity for the I. I would like to introduce you to a business associates of mine who would love to pass you referrals over time. Are you interested? So you're inviting them to come out to the meeting. And of course, hopefully they'll say yes. And then great, meet me at the time, date, location. I mean, right now it's on Zoom, but we may be back in person eventually. So you can do the inviting in that way. Should take you less than a minute. If at any point in time in this conversation you get it, I don't want to go, no, it gives you the opportunity to say, well, who else in your profession do you know that is looking to grow their business by referral? And then it's like, oh, wait, huh? And then it's kind of like they stop and they're listening and paying attention again. So using GRIP is, to me, one of the easiest ways to invite. Simple, just, are you looking to grow your business? Would referrals help you grow your business? And can I introduce you to some folks that could pass you business? Now, for those of you watching in our live world, if you have a favorite way to invite that you want to share in the comments, would love to hear those. We do have Mark from Manhattan who shared one of the ways he uses to invite is on Wednesday mornings, I'm meeting with 30 people who've given me business over 14 years. Maybe there's some business for you too. Come meet my team. Could be a simple way to do it. Delmar from the Philippines shares, hey, can you help me and my colleagues? These are local business professionals, top executives, professionals, 30 plus, that are looking for your kind of product and service. Would you like for me to personally introduce you to them? I'm meeting them this morning, or whatever the morning is. So those are two different ways that a couple people here from Facebook like to do the inviting. Now, one of the things that Dr. Meisner talks about in BNI Podcast 547 is interviewing. And I'm not going to get into all of the details because he goes into the details in the podcast. However, when he's inviting people, he's sharing, hey, we're interviewing people in your profession. And I think that really kind of elevates what we're sharing, what we're doing with people in this BNI world. It's membership is a privilege, not open to everybody. Now, a slightly different tactic, one that I think can be powerful for the entire chapter, is what we like to call a stack day. A stack day is when you invite one profession and maybe everybody in the chapter is inviting. And the beautiful thing, let's say that we're inviting the underwater basket weaver, and they walk into the room and there's 10 other underwater basket weavers there. What happens when the president says, hey, you'll get to go with the visitor host and get the opportunity to lock out your competition, they're like, oh, wait, there's 9 other people here that do what I do, and they are going to run or quickly go to the website to fill out that application. And I think it's really powerful because you also get the opportunity to work with your sister chapters, because if you've got 10 there, half of them apply, then you've got 4 people that don't make it into your chapter. And so you can refer those to your sister chapters that have those seats open as well. Also, if you do business with underwater basket weavers, does it mean that just because they're not in the chapter doesn't mean you couldn't do one-to-ones with them. Doesn't mean you can't create referral relationships. So I think stack days are a great way to invite visitors and get the entire chapter engaged. Speaking of technology, I know people can go online to enroll. They can also go online, you as a member, and use BNI Connect to send the invitation. Like I remember pre-BNI Connect, we had these postcards. You would actually put them in the mail, and I think they still have those. But you can use BNI Connect. It has a very nice and elegant postcard that can go out inviting people to your chapter. One of the ways I like to invite members, because I love to visit other chapters, but if I go to a chapter and I say, oh wait, they have a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker, and our chapter are missing those professions, it's like, ooh, ding, ding, ding. Oh, great opportunity. What I can do is then talk to the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, and ask first, do you have anybody else in your company that could be a part of BNI? And here's the chapter that I'm in. And hey, let's invite them on over. You also have the opportunity to say, do you know anybody else in your profession? So before I was doing this, what I do for a living is help people make money, save time, and have fun. I have an online program called Ignite Your Business, which is kind of our flagship program to help people double, triple, quadruple their referrals. But before I did that, I was in the promotional products world, and I put half a dozen other people in my industry into different BNI chapters back in the day when I was in that world, because it was such a great opportunity, and I want to help other people out there. So you can find members in other sister chapters and ask them, hey, who do you know who in your profession, in your company, and can you help us inviting them over to the chapter? Now, I have another technique where I invite people to hear me as a speaker, and that's actually a separate video that will be coming out, so be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, check that out. It will be out shortly, so you should be able to watch another video on how to invite visitors to BNI, and it'll talk about when you're the speaker. However, one of my ways that I love to invite people to BNI is to hear the featured speaker or to create an introduction. If I'm at a networking event, one of the favorite questions I have to ask is, what professions are you looking to meet? And if they say, I'm looking to meet a realtor and a financial planner, I'm like, oh, I'm actually going to see an amazing realtor and financial planner Thursday morning at 7:15. Would you like to come to a meeting, whether it's in person or in Zoom? And I'd love to create the introduction. And when they say yes, because they almost always say yes, then I say, and actually, we're having a meeting from 7:30 to 9, following when we're going to be seeing each other. Would you like to stay for that? And in all my years of inviting, I've only had one person ever say, I'm not interested in staying after. And that's okay. They came in. This was back when we were face-to-face. I made the introductions and they left, but everybody else has stayed. And so I can invite to introduce to another profession, or I can invite people to hear the featured speaker. And that's why if you're the featured speaker, I do recommend that you let people know that you're the speaker coming up, who you would like to have in the room, as well as what the topic's going to be, so it makes it easier for me to invite. And to me, that's the name of the game. You want to make it easy. So I mentioned I will have another video on inviting when you're the featured speaker. We also have another video coming up with some additional tips, because there's only so much that we can cram in and keep this video 10 or 15 minutes ideally. So we'll have a couple other videos up on YouTube coming soon on how to invite visitors in BNI. I'd love in the comments for you to share your favorite ways to invite visitors to BNI. And if you're in BNI because you want more referrals, I do have a free online coaching program, 5 Steps to Referral Success. It's delivered over 5 weeks to help you hopefully double your referrals in just 5 weeks. And it's at bit.ly/TK5steps. And I'll put that in the chat box and in the comments as well. Otherwise, thank you guys so very much for being here with us. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Happy networking.